Hello, everyone, and welcome to another great edition of Athlete Inc., the series that spotlights athletes and, well, their ink. And today we've got a special, it's a coach's edition of Athlete Inc. You were a former athlete.
I was at one point in time.
Once upon a time. You were
Once upon a time, that is true.
It's Coach Dave Kilian, welcome.
Thank you, sir.
He's still very much an athlete, let me just tell you that. But when I put out this idea, I did get some messages from coaches that are just like, oh man, we're going to want to talk about ours too. So we're breaking the ice there.
Yes.
It's the new year, so we got a new opportunity. But I remember when I first met you, I noticed some of your ink, and I was like, oh, this guy's there's some stories there, I guarantee it. So we like to establish a timeline. First tattoo, when you got it, what inspired it?
All right, so my first tattoo is on my shoulder blade.
Okay.
And I got it freshman year of college. And I remember having a conversation with my dad about it. He goes, you know, those are permanent. He's a little old school about it. You know, what happens if in 20 years you're not going to, and I'm like, and the tattoo is faith-based. Okay. And I looked at my dad and said, I'm pretty sure I'm going to maintain my faith. And so I don't mind if that's permanent. And so that was kind of the start of the game. And then my buddy and I went and got tats together. And then since then, I've got other tats alongside friends. And then they're addicting.
Oh, yes.
You get one, it's like, all right, what's next?
Very addicting, and nothing is, I think, easier peer pressure than a tattoo, because a friend of mine got his first one, and I was like, oh, I'm at that age, I can get one too now.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So it's like, it's defiance, it's rebellion, it's a rite of passage, it's so many things. So freshman year of college, so clearly you were out of the household, you were 18, and did this just seem like the next kind of step in the progression? Yeah,
and I started, I got an earring, and that was the big thing, and so that was my senior year of high school, and it's just, I don't know, I just figure, I was always, you get the pushback in the faith world, oh, your body's a temple. I'm like, and if you read those scriptures, the temple was pretty ornate, and I have no problem with decorating the heck out of it.
Yeah, I do love when I talk to people with religious background or deep faith about the tattoos that they have. There's a guy who I graduated with. He's a worship leader at his church, and he has full-on sleeves.
Oh, heck yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, so clearly, there's either scripture or passage that I must have either misunderstood or misinterpreted that says this is okay.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm good. I'm in the clear.
Yep.
But okay, so you get that one. It's on your back. I know for me, the back is a hard place to want to get one because I like to see it. But you were obviously okay with that. So then what was the next one? Is this one that you wanted to see?
So the next one, I started with that, but I was a track athlete. You're in tank tops. And when I was in college, it was the speed suit, which is pretty much like a wrestling singlet on the track. And, it shows off, and so that was the start. But then I figured the next one I got on my ankle, and it was a cross, and it was my first attempt at color. And I've learned color doesn't necessarily take to my skin as well. The yellow on it, you can barely see. The red, kind of, sort of, but the outline's there. That's a cross with kind of a little crown of thorns. And then it's supposed to have a beam of light coming off the bottom, and it's kind of there.
It's kind of there.
So the perk of being Italian and having easily tannable skin.
So how many in total do you have?
I have 4. So here, and then my calf. And then I've got a half sleeve. So
I think the calf is the one I noticed. So
it's kind of the more defining one, people, because I wear shorts every day. It's kind of a thing.
Yeah, the calf I noticed first off, and I thought it was barbed wire, but that's not. It's a crown of thorns.
It's a crown of thorns, and so that was kind of like, it's again faith-based, a reminder of what Jesus went through, just part of what he went through for us. And that was big for me. I do like to have fun with this one, and I've convinced students in the past that it's a prison tat. And the beauty of these wonderful young minds we get to mold is they believe me. And so there's some fun. Never been to prison. I want to clarify that up for all you out in social media, Bill. But it is fun to mess with people.
Okay. All right, so now the big piece, the half sleeve arm piece, which is beautiful. A lot of detail here. I see some words. Walk me through this one and how this all came to be.
So this one, it's a two series so far. I'll expend it down. It started with the tree, and it's this idea. It's kind of a weathered tree, and there's light coming through, and it's this idea that in life, we get beat down, we get worn down. Good happens, but bad happens too, and it kind of beats us down a little bit. And it's like an old age, strong wooden tree. But through all that, the light can continue to shine through. And then in it, I weaved in my wife's name, and then my two boys, Liam and Isaiah. So they're kind of weaved into the grain of the wood. And this one was a young lady, Sammy, who was at Alpha, and now she's down in Helena. And so she started that one and did a good foundation. Then I love mountains, I love trees, I love forests. So I figured we're in Montana, highlight some of that. And then I expanded it with Kendall, who's now at Sparrows and Arrows. She's a phenomenal artist. Want to give a plug for that. And so she kind of took the roots, and I had her extend them down into a cross, and like an old rugged cross. And it's this concept of trying to remain rooted in the cross through those life struggles. And then I threw a wolf in there because wolves are amazing. They're a sweet animal. I like my pack, I like my tribe of people that I'm close to, and so there's that, and I'll keep adding to it because I like to.
Well, that is one of the questions here is, are you done or what's next? And so this is going to be a continuation then.
Yeah, I probably won't go full on sleeve. There might be a day down the road where I coached college for a couple years, and my wife and I have talked about many, many years down the road when we're done with like our jobs, me as a teacher, her as a medical practitioner, that, kids will be grown up and all that, and maybe we want to adventure again, do the college thing. And when you're at that level, you're dealing with boosters and there's money, and and I love to wear short sleeves. But even if that, like, some people still judge based on that. And so something that I could cover if needed. Yeah. But I prefer not to.
Fair enough.
So.
Well, one of the questions I was going to ask, but it doesn't sound like that's the case, is if there's any that you'd either redo or cover, but yours being faith-based and obviously faith and family, it sounds like you were pretty determined in your decisions and knew clearly what you were going to get, so that's good.
And that's generally how I operate in life. I know what I want. I keep it lined up. I live in the moment, but I'm always thinking about the future, and I try to make certain that I'm far from perfect. We know that. I'm a big dumb animal half the time, but I definitely am not going to put something on me that isn't something that I know is going to be permanent in my world, because tattoos are permanent, and you don't want to cover up your mistakes. You want to learn from your mistakes and grow through them. And so, and I try to make sure at least things on me are not totally determined by mistakes outside of scars and stupidity like that, like my injuries.
So we have the back, arm, both legs. Are we saving the chest for the bison head bursting through flames? Like, is that?
Obviously, I always get the joke that, if I were a little bit taller, I could pass as Bigfoot. My feet aren't quite that big, and I'm not that tall, but the rest of it would be there. I figure arm, and then, I've got plenty of leg space left too, and could kind of play with that maybe at some point. I've thought of other ones. I'm always thinking of what's next, because that's, as you well know, you get one, you're always thinking the next, and for me, it's never like, the immediate next, but it's the eventual next.
I've got like 4 that are in queue right now.
Great word, in queue.
Yes,
that is
in queue for tattoos. There you go.
Ooh, I think we can quote that.
Well, I hadn't seen this one up close. I was going to tell you, I was like, the faith ones I get, but I had you pegged for a guy who had like kids' initials and birth dates. You have their names though in the tree, but had you ever thought about like doing, sort of milestones like that of initials or names and dates of birth? I see that a lot. So
I've thought about it. My wife actually on hers has names and birth dates of the 2 boys. And so, hers are pretty spectacular on that. There's a great artist in Portland when we were living out there. But, I figured names would be a solid play. And then who knows? The beauty of something like this is I can build around it and I can extend it. And there's so much that I can do that if I wanted to put in, I could have a great artist. Like I would just go back to Kendall now. She could weave that into the framework. There's so many good things. A great artist can do great things.
Any place you won't get a tattoo?
Probably, anything covered by the shorts, no. We can go with that. Probably not on the chest. That's not kind of my vibe. Okay. But upper back is always wide open. And then, I'm kind of legs and arms guy.
Okay.
Oh, not the face either. No way. Definitely not face. The beard is like my face tattoo. We'll go with that.
I was thinking cursive of your wife's name on the neck. And then you can convince everybody that that's a prison tattoo.
Yeah. I don't know if she would appreciate that one. So there's that. We got to honor our brides. So.
All right. Well, some good ink, and I'm excited to get some close-ups of this.
Heck yeah.
We are starting the year off strong with a coach's edition of
Heck
Athlete
yes.
Ink. Former athletes still going strong. We run a mile every day, and we're proud of you for doing that.
Thank you.
One more time. For Coach Dave Kilian, I'm the team man, Richard Tiemann. This has been Athlete Inc., and we will see you next time.
Peace out.